Welcome back to Pod Justice, and now we're on day 2 of the trials, and this is the final one. Thank God.
Which is technically day 3 of the trial, of the case in general.
I guess it's a good thing that in this case we're not using the 3-day structure.
Go ahead, Yuri.
Well, this is it.
Today is the day it all goes down.
Here I stand.
I mean, when you get down to it, the second... Pedro, please.
But I love that song.
Yes, I love it too, but now is not the time for joy. Well, that joy anyway. You know, I'll give it this, though. As you may have noticed, the second investigation phase of this case was a lot better paced than the first investigation phase of this day. That thankfully also applies to the trial as well.
I would argue that the first one had the in-story excuse that it had to be done on the spot, rushed, because we need to gather information as soon as possible before the accident was covered by the news.
I guess that's a good point, although you kind of... I don't know, does anyone else get the feeling like, well, maybe it was just a trial day of the first half?
No, it really was the trial, because like I still stand on my ground. Outside of that single moment in the previous day, I still like Clavier overall, which makes me say that moment to me really comes out of nowhere, unnecessarily. I mean,
not just that, but allow me to remind, not just that, but allow me to remind you how he intentionally hid evidence from the court in the previous.
That's what I mean. That's what I was saying about. Aside from that, he hasn't been a bad guy in that case. Yes, he may be. Bland.
That's exactly the problem, though, Teo. They're trying to make him a nice prosecutor, but they're inconsistent about it, like Jova said.
Let me put it like this.
It's plot contrivance is what it is.
Let me put
Trying to bring down a little just...
Yeah,
you want to make a nice prosecutor.
What the fuck?
Sorry.
What was that?
What the fuck happened?
The courtroom Oh, wait, sorry. That's for later.
I guess it's me, Dwibs.
Yep.
He's heard but unseen.
Batman?
Who's that talking?
Batman.
It's the Italian Batman from Batman Incorporated.
Oh, there he is.
Daryan Grammary! Reading the door like an average muggle, no less.
Okay, that's a cute little reference.
Why did it sound like a gunshot?
You aren't the witness today, are you, Uncle Valen?
That would be unexpected, like a magician.
Oh, a preposterous proposition.
Well, it would make sense, Joe, but the whole point...
How could I stand upon the stand?
Oh.
Stand.
Okay, Jojo.
Now we're in Francisco territory.
What kind of stand could he have? Why, my secrets will be free for the plucking. I guess magician's red, but that would be too obvious. I mean, I might even have to sign autographs. Hell to you! That's for another time.
Yeah.
That is why I intend to remain hidden for the entire day.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be great at hiding with that bright yellow cape and hat.
That's part of the Magician's Act, Dwibs.
Ooh, with vanishing magic? Nah, he's just going for a coffee.
Yes.
So what's the prestige in your trip?
I will jump upon an express train and express myself to the next town over.
Zavush!
Yeah, off to San Francisco.
But before I go, a word of warning.
That's your prestige?
Warning? What?
An asteroid. It's coming. We're all dead.
A storm is coming.
Run.
A grand glamour resides at the root of all that has happened.
Ooh. Thanks, I think that's a hit.
Could you explain that in English?
Yes.
Not while the cops are watching.
Do not forget this truth.
What was that you were saying over there? A glamour?
You'll see.
A spell, a sorcery, a great illusion.
Alright. So what is it?
Minstrelsy. though it pains me to part so.
I hope we'll see you again.
I need to get in line for a ticket.
Oh.
Tickets only. Next.
Farewell, my job.
Oh,
Literally,
whoa.
my job here is done.
And there he goes.
I have to go now. My planet needs me.
Uh-huh.
Sure seemed happy about that illusion thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, big illusions are the bread and butter of a magician.
Mhm. Anyway, to go back to that talk about Clavier we were having, Aaron Essas, you know, the lead writer from Avatar The Last Airbender, has given quite a wise and powerful quote saying, "Make your characters complex, not likable." As in, by all means, you can focus on your characters being likable, but you can't forego their actual character just to go out of your way
That
to make
kind
them
of statement, Jova, can be misinterpreted big time, because by that logic, the Wachowskis are great in doing masterpieces.
That's the thing, though. The Wachowskis' characters aren't really complex. They just say
That would imply too that their characters are complex, which they are.
Well, complex in a sense, but you don't understand what the fuck they mean most of the time.
Theo,
No.
Theo,
That's
Theo,
not the
Theo,
kind
Theo.
of good-
Theo,
There's a
that's what
difference
we
between complex and convoluted.
or just someone who bouts in lip
Complexly
service.
convoluted.
The point being is like, well, again,
I managed to make that mistake in Speed Racer.
yeah, look, basically, I can sum up the major issue with Clavier's character. For like the first case you meet him, it seems like, okay, he's generally a nicer prosecutor. It's
And
just-
again, they don't go the cliched route of revenge against,
Yeah.
because you made my brother acquitted.
yeah, like, okay, I'll admit, I was okay with Clavier myself the second case. Sure, he got a bit on my nerves, but for the most part I was fine with him. It's just the reason fans didn't care for Clavier was because of what the later two cases do with that character. It's like they couldn't seem to decide
I'm
on what to do
okay
with him.
not caring about him because he may not be as pristine or noticeable as Francisca or Edgeworth. But again,
Excuse me, sir.
Basically, Theo, though, since a
hold
prosecutor...
on. I'll finish in a second. Hold on.
Yes.
Dwibs
The
and
schedule starting time for the trial has been changed.
Oh,
Really?
What?
that's
That's
new.
Yeah. Just let me check Valor Grammary's court record. The trial will not be commencing until 10:30 a.m. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Okay, anybody got a switch?
Why?
Well, hey, I guess at least you got more prep time for once.
Huh? Did something happen? This is a first.
Hmm.
It was by the judge's request. Some urgent personal business.
I guess
Ooh,
he's old and really needs to go to the bathroom.
I don't know.
Great. But he stayed up too late last night watching courtroom dramas.
He doesn't need to watch courtroom dramas.
Apparently, he's visiting the hospital again.
Oh.
Oh. Oh no.
Oh no.
The hospital?
We can't kill Udgy.
Oh,
I believe it was
boy.
mentioned that the Chief Justice's son is. Yeah,
Never mind, it's just the Chief Justice.
By
Oh,
the way,
okay,
this doesn't.
His son
The
is
whole
unwell.
Chief Justice thing is weird.
Shouldn't it be sheep of justice?
No. Chief Justice is actually a term.
Apparently, his condition worsened this morning. The Chief Justice's son.
For great justice!
Yes.
That actually is
Oh,
an actual
that's right.
position, to be
Yeah, I
fair.
never understood the whole Chief Justice thing in this case.
Oh, I understand it all well. You'll see.
Remember yesterday morning? The judge said he had to go visit him after the trial.
Good job this game's not set in the UK. The cases will last 6 weeks. There's an article about it in the newspaper.
Incuritis syndrome, first case in country. Oh.
If you care to read about it yourself.
Huh. The Chief Justice's son has incuritis.
Incuritis. Where have I heard that before?
And it's the first case in the country. This country.
Ha!
There we go.
I wonder.
I'm
That's
showing it to you guys right now.
It's just so many people in Zama, they can't figure out Dwibs.
I'll let you read that article for us, Apollo.
Thanks, Brucey.
Sure.
You have a nice booming voice.
Just leave me the TV guide. No, just leave the TV guide page to me.
Ah, yeah, I remember the days when you needed to have newspapers to look up the
Try
TV
not to lose
guide.
the page.
We still have those here.
Josie, wait a minute. You can barely afford CBS. What hope do you have of watching any of those programs anyway?
Flight 10, 10:30 AM district.
My apologies for the delay.
Wow, we don't start with the camera panning thing?
Court is now in session for the trial of...
Well, we were already
How'd
late.
you say
so
his
we
name
can't
again?
waste time panning across the
We're
room.
late, Teo, so we need to rush this. Machi Tabai, our suspect fortissimo.
That's not German.
I'm Italian now for some reason.
Well, okay. To be fair,
It's a musical term, I get it, but it feels odd from Clavier.
well, he is a musician.
The defense is prepared, Your Honor.
Tochisito, I'm a rock star, and that means I only speak in musical terms. The prosecution is ready to rock!
See?
That's another thing. I don't like this
Is something
gimmick
wrong,
on
Your
this.
Honor?
Okay, Tio. I'll just sum up the issue.
Oh yeah, I forgot to just finish quickly. Basically, my point is, even considering circumstances, I still will take him over Godot every single day.
As a prosecutor or
It's
as
just-
a character?
Both.
I've been friends with the Chief Justice since we were students.
I get as a
It pains me
prosecutor,
to see him
but
going
as a
through such a difficult time.
Prosecutor, because
Sorry, Shiri, you sound a bit distant. Can you speak up?
Better?
Better.
Yeah.
You were saying, Shiroi?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about character, but I would take Clavier as a prosecutor over Goto because Goto just fucked so much up. Like, everything was just an inconvenience on his part.
And he barely contributes anything. It's not even like a case of what I was foreshadowing and say, oh, he just asked Phoenix to present evidence.
Oh,
No.
Wait, this bit.
Let me say, with all honesty, Herr Judge, I feel your pain. But now is not the time for tears. There you go. That's
He means that.
that's something
Whatever,
you said a lot
I'll-
during our reference draft playthrough.
I'll mention later. Yeah. That comes for later.
Now is the time for law.
Ah, indeed.
Well, I might.
We left off at quite the juncture yesterday. Half the courtroom just wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Right.
My problem with sorry, go ahead.
I'll give my 2 cents about Clavier. It's like, well, I mean, look, I'll admit, I found Goto to be a more fun opponent. That's not to say he was a better prosecutor in the term of context. As a prosecutor, he was terrible at his job, but he was a more fun opponent for it, in a sense. And at the very least with Goto, it felt like there was actually some challenge here. Now, admittedly, it doesn't always have to be from the prosecution where the challenge comes. It's just, Clavier feels like, okay, either I'm fighting against the actual witness, or I'm going against this easygoing guy who doesn't get phased whatsoever. I wouldn't be annoyed by it if it weren't for moments like...
But that's the thing, Jova. Not even Godo gets phased whatsoever. He's defeats in court. He doesn't care. Not a single one.
Godo... Okay. To be fair, Godo actually did have some motivation. He actually wanted to test Phoenix and see if he could beat him just for the sake of trying to, self-proclaim and prove himself right. Try and get, validation. At the very least, Godo had that.
Yeah, but then there's the final case where he went and did whatever the hell that was.
Not just that, and then he pretends, oh, you need to feel sorry for me.
problem
Like,
with
I'm not
Clavier-
gonna do that.
Okay, to be
That's-
fair,
that's
Godo
fair,
never
but-
asks us to feel sorry for him. It's just Maya feels sorry for him, and that's because he saved her life. Like, that's, again, it's like I said before, Trials and Tribulations never asks you to feel sorry for Godo. As far as you know, he's gone. Sure, he had a messed up past and whatnot, but nobody tries to use that to excuse his actions or whatnot. Like, even Mia, Godo's own very girlfriend, admits that he kind of did himself in. So, honestly, I'm okay with that. No, and trust...
Yeah.
And let's just say this...
Let's carry on.
Right, I'll just cap things up to you, and while it may seem like Clavier is going to be a lot more easygoing, let's just say the plot's going to actually end up including him big time in a point where they're trying to get you to care for him.
I asked the prosecution to look into this.
Now that we've gone over that stuff, basically, yeah, recap.
Please tell the court your findings, and you better have...
Daryan Crescent is a member of my band, the Governors.
And a very good friend of his, remember that.
He is also a detective, making the current charges serious indeed. Yet, after investigation, I have found no cause to alter our case. or file new charge.
Now, I want you to remember the stakes. As far as Clavier knows, his friend's life is on the line.
And your reason is?
Weren't you aware, Herr Forehead?
Stop grinning.
He has an impeccable alibi.
I have a penis for hair, therefore I am innocent.
No.
What?
An alibi?
Let us review the facts again, shall we?
We've been reviewing stuff this entire case with all the flash.
Well, it's court procedure.
John?
We gotta do it.
The concert held on the night of the shooting was in free set.
So like a waltz, sort of.
Hmm.
The Governors ripped up the stage during the first set. Sure.
Whatever you say, pal.
For the second set, our guest took center stage.
Yes. Our guest who got assaulted.
The only performers appearing were myself, Lamiroir, and Machi, along with a drummer and bassist, for a total of 5.
But where's the drummer? I can't see him.
It
The
was
shooting
behind.
in the dressing room, however, took place during the first.
Huh.
Nice, you're doing it in tune with the song.
Lamiroir and the defendants, Machi Tobias, had left the stage at that point.
Seems pretty open and shut.
And the Governors were already rocking.
So, how could Daryan have killed someone while he was playing music in front of thousands of fans?
This is when 2 shots rang out at the scene of the crime. You know what's also, Jova? It would be so great if Ace Attorney took place in the 24th century, where we literally have a teleporter that says to scene of crime.
Well, considering how far into the future they are at this point, who knows? You know, that actually would be an idea for another spin-off.
Right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Who, me?
You were saying?
Oh,
Sure did.
that would be a cool idea for a spin-off since they've already done Ace Attorney in the past. Why not
Ace Attorney 2099.
Furthermore, Lamiroir herself witnessed the moment of the crime.
No, it's like the Blade Runner move. Blade Runner sequel. Blade Runner 2049 or something. It's a
Well-
huge success, but no one buys it.
Perhaps I should say she heard the moment of the crime.
That's good and sensitive of you.
When she claims to have heard Mr. Latouche and Detective Crescent talking.
Unfortunately, the term is eyewitness testimony.
But that's impossible. Detective Crescent was...
Precisely. Detective Crescent was on stage, getting his groove on, no less. Voila! A perfect alibi.
Hmm.
Does the defense have anything to add to this? It's true. When I heard those gunshots, he must have been on stage.
So
what?
basically, for the defense attorneys, it's the table that's in danger. For prosecutors, it's the wall that's in danger.
Still, there's something here that doesn't quite add up.
I think I can imagine what may have actually happened, but I'll wait before saying it.
Alright.
It appears the defense has no objection.
Wow! Would you like to use
All right,
sincere
I guess we're done here. Can we go home now?
I believe we can safely say that Daryan Crescent's alibi has been acknowledged.
Yes,
Which
please.
means I have to declare the defendant guilty. Goodbye.
Da, 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 da.
Which means that Lamiroir was sadly mistaken.
I mean, it does make sense.
Her testimony cannot be true.
Very
Yeah.
well. Of course, if we disregard her testimony, then I see no evidence keeping us from declaring a verdict.
I have a theory too, but I'm not sure if it's too ridiculous or not.
If indeed there are no objections,
I mean,
I know it's
Shiri.
this series I'm talking about, but
Yeah,
still.
Shiri, we've been through Big Top. I'm pretty sure now everything can happen.
I mean, okay. You know what, guys? Again, one reason Big Top was better than this, the only really bout where
No, Jova, I mean in terms of contrived coincidences that make the impossible looking possible.
Like how Daryan, if he is guilty, could have possibly committed this crime.
Prosecutor Gavin's case is airtight.
It really depends. With Big Top, it's kind of just that one bit that's really hard to believe, but is still possible. Turnabout Serenade, as we've established, is something that goes beyond just that and breaks logic. So tread carefully.
How can I rely on her testimony?
Yeah, I bet you guys can guess. This case is one reason why this game is not exactly well regarded by most fans.
Wait, what about yesterday in the detention
as
center?
well.
Oh god, the final case. But you know what? We'll get to that when we get to that.
Key, crab, something.
About the case? What about the case?
My briefcase! I left it in Virginia! You want us to tell us about Mr. Latus's death?
This meeting's over.
Wait, what did he say?
Flashback.
Daryan.
That's my name, don't wear it out.
Machi was trying to tell us something. I know it. But I don't know why he couldn't have told us during the wait for going in there, but
Guess he was really
Whatever.
scared.
maybe the best thing to do is ask him under oath.
Not like you got much to lose.
Very well. The court finds the defendant. What's his name again?
Please, Judge.
Objection! Your Honor! I don't think it was named Your Honor. No, that wasn't it. It was something like Machi or Mr. Justin.
Truly, you and the judge are in sync, Dwibs.
Your Honor, before you declare a verdict, I would like to call another witness.
Exactly who else do you need to hear from, Herr Forehead?
You, Prosecutor Gavin.
That
Well,
would
at
be a
least-
good way to buy for time.
Sorry, Herr Forehead, my alibi is airtight. I was there playing it for the millions of people.
Because he doesn't speak English.
Oh. That is a very good point.
You don't mean...
How are we
Yes.
going to interpret for him?
I
in
do.
court?
The defense calls defendant Machi to buy to the stand.
Suspense 2007, please.
What? But he doesn't speak English.
That's okay, we have an interpreter.
Yes.
We'll use an interpreter.
That is court protocol, I would hope.
Interpreter? I'm afraid you'll have to look elsewhere. I only speak a few phrases, such as I love you and where is the toilet?
Those are two handy phrases to know, to be fair.
Good to know.
Truly the most important of phrases.
The defense would like to request Lamiroir as the interpreter.
Paulo! Bit of an
That's
issue.
not a good idea.
No. For all we know, she'll be lying.
Yeah.
But there's a possibility she's protecting the defendant.
There you go. Even Udgy says it.
Maybe if Phoenix knew how to translate.
Would she be interpreting for the defendant? Why would she lie? To protect the defendant, you
To
moron.
protect the defendant, you...
You
Yes.
mean
No.
you
Let's
mean
use
anyone?
Google Translate.
You mean someone will do that? Just go to the internet and tell lies?
This is most unusual.
Bravo, Herr Forehead.
You managed to make the most stupidest thing in this trial day so far.
Herr Judge, the prosecution agrees with the defense's request.
I guess you just want to have a laugh.
I guess he's
I
being
guess.
nice.
I mean, he was laughing, so.
Okay, this goes back to my complaint about Clavier's character. Is this him being nice? Is this him being a dick?
If Lamiroir lies, I'll be able to tell. Even my limited knowledge of the language should be enough for that. So
How
wait a
do
minute, just
you
beca-
know what she's
just
lying
okay,
about?
Okay, just because you know a bit of the language, it doesn't make you a liar.
Clavier is the equivalent. Clavier is the equivalent one of those weeaboos who thinks they know Japanese just because they watch
Oh,
anime.
wait,
prosecution
wait.
and defense. I see little cause for refusal.
Wait. Oh,
Finally, some progress.
I get
I
it.
I see motive for refusal, but again, we live in an alternate universe where people are weird. So
Okay. I think I get what they mean. It's like, well, basically, they're worried about Lamiroir possibly mangling with the translation to favor Machi, but Clavier will know if
obviously.
she's apparently not doing it because he knows enough words, even though that kind of contradicts what he said beforehand.
yeah, I suppose there is a first. Your name to begin with, if you would, Lamiroir.
But this goes back to my issue with Clavier's character to you. It's like, well, again, I can't tell. Is he doing it to be a dick? Is he doing it because he's nice and just wants the truth?
My only
Not
real
really
problem
explained
with
much.
allow me since I didn't actually finish it. See, my real problem with Clavier is okay. You want a nice prosecutor for a change. Okay, fine, commit to it. Instead, you write him inconsistently where sometimes he's a dick, sometimes he's not. Okay, make up your mind. What kind of character is he?
See, basically, okay, yes, it's the third case. The third case is often where the prosecution is put through the hardest of times. Like with Turnabout Samurai, Edgeworth constantly got pwned the first trial day. In Turnabout Big Top, Franziska ended up going freaking nuts over her loss. And Recipe for Turnabout, yeah, even Godo had to strain himself a bit more. Here, it's the perfect setup. Clavier's friend is now accused of being put on murder.
This is,
What? You called the defendant to the stand, did you not?
Paulo, you need to think this through.
What would you have him testify about?
Good question.
about
How much of an idiot Apollo is?
about
What do I want him to testify about?
how about what he was doing? How about
He was
what he was
weird.
doing during the time of the crime?
I haven't fought that far
You
yet.
really suck at this, you know.
Pedro,
Yeah.
it's even worse because he actually knew what he wanted to ask him about before asking him to come to the stand, and now he's suddenly forgotten and is acting like
Because
he
we
never
need a
thought to
comedy
begin with.
bit. Because we need a comedy bit.
Juicy.
Yeah.
I'm
Sorry,
going
she-
to ask him what he was about to tell us yesterday.
Sorry, Shiro. Unfortunately, we need to wait for the next game for Yamazaki to reboot his character.
For better or for
Seriously.
worse.
I
But
mean, I'm not sure
actually, no, for
Apollo
better.
functions now.
I'm
so
sorry.
for better.
Even haters of the 3DS games admit that Apollo is better in those.
Yeah, my bad. I misspoke there. But again, it goes back to my issue with, pretty much this case as a whole. This case can't seem to decide whether or not it wants to actually go through with this complex situation and commit to it.
Well, right now the bigger problem is just the fact that Apollo, we're 3 quizzes in, and Apollo is still dumb and.
Yeah,
devoid of personality.
I'm not sold on the character of Apollo at all.
Let me put it like
here.
this.
Don't worry, Teo. Nobody was when they played.
Unless
Machi wants to testify
whatever.
about something.
I'll
What
mention
could
this
it
also
be?
later.
Now, for some people thinking, but Squirm,
Okay.
Phoenix technically wasn't the main character of the first game when you get down to it. Well, first of all, that's more of a technicality, but okay. Technically, Phoenix wasn't the main character of the first game who had all the character
one
development.
moment.
That was Miles Edgeworth. One moment, please.
At least Phoenix had a character. Apollo doesn't really have one, or at least not a consistent one.
Yeah.
Suspense is killing me.
The difference is that
Yes, my...
while the
Miles
first game
Edgeworth.
focused more on Miles Edgeworth, Phoenix still had an overall character because he was tied well in with Miles
Oh?
Edgeworth.
Hold on.
What?
What? Do you think you're Steve Austin?
What?
Well, Lamiroir? It's not well, Judge, it's what? Get it right.
I mean, well, as in, what did he say?
Yeah. According to Machi, he has proof of his innocence.
Really?
And you didn't bother bringing this up so far because.
Well, who could he bring it up to?
What?
Say what? This is a surprise, and I'm
Dull
completely unenthused by this
surprise.
because
I'm
I
pretty
have
sure he was using sarcasm for this line.
Yahoo! Victory, Apollo! We did it!
No,
And
we
you're
didn't.
celebrating
We haven't
prematurely.
the evidence yet, Lucy.
Don't count your chickens just.
Unless you're referring to the fact that Machi has
sound
managed
too
to
good to
open
believe.
up.
And I know what that usually means.
Oh god, of all the people to lie.
Well, if that's true, then this is vital testimony. Machi. Please testify to the court.
All right then.
Very well. And look at that. For the first time ever in Ace Attorney history, there were more than two people on the witness stand.
Alright, let's hear.
You know, that's the thing about this... Oh, never mind. I'll wait till after the testimony. He says that word of Mr. Gattusa's death came as a great shock. But if the killing truly followed the lyrics of my song, I, that is he, could not have done it. He says that because the lyrics are in English, he does not understand them.
That's actually a good point.
Huh.
That's kind of
That's
clever, actually.
I see.
Well, good job, kid. That's actually a solid testimony. Shame we probably have to rip it
Wouldn't have
apart.
understood You wouldn't have understood the English lyrics to the song. That would prevent him from following them so closely.
Hey, look at that! Already, this trial is off to a more fun start, gameplay-wise, too.
Or like a log for so easily logical for a change.
I wondered what he meant by proof. Well, technically, testimony. Why? He would only have to ask Lamiroir to know the meaning of that song.
Huh.
Lamiroir! Did you ever explain the lyrics of that him?
I did tell him generally what the song was about.
And he still couldn't understand it.
Well, to be fair, Tail. I mean, how
But
could
never
she
in
know
so much
this
detail.
Thing, all thing will
And he
happen?
never asked.
No, whatever, it's not that.
Remember, Machi was told the meaning, not necessarily the lyrics.
And let's not
Line
forget,
by
Has my
line.
oft-repeated warning already fled that forehead?
I mean, both sides have a point
my
here.
Lamiroir might be protecting the witness. Also, your nickname with the hair forehead is not funny. Stop it.
Again, it just clashes with the idea of him being nice. Again, sure, you could say it's a playful term, but there's some times where he feels it, where it feels like he's just doing it to taunt Apollo.
Mr. Justice, if you would. Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, you guys are in contact with the embassy. Couldn't you get a neutral party translator?
Something's hidden in that testimony. I know it.
I guess Virginian is a language not well known.
I'll just have to trust my bracelet to tell me where.
But Daryan
Yes.
communicated
Your Honor,
with people directly from the embassy, supposedly.
Okay,
Your
that's
Honor,
a good point.
I can.
If that's
Your Honor-
true, then they could have gotten a translator.
Yes, of course. Your Honor, I can tell that Lamiroir is telling the truth because my bracelet says she is.
Anyway, let's get through this.
No, blah, blah, we've already read this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Already read this.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
He
Let's
says
have a look.
that
No, Jennifer, do it slowly, like.
because the lyrics are in English.
Oh.
Gotcha! His eyes flickered a little bit there.
You know the screenshot of the of this particular gimmick feels a lot like Al 9000 checking on reading the astronaut's
Machi.
lips.
You
Yeah.
can't fool my eyes.
I'm sorry, Machi. I'm afraid I can't let you do.
You glanced toward her the very moment Lamiroir said the word English.
And that proves that you were lying somehow.
Why?
Not entirely, but it does raise about a suspicion.
Mm-hmm.
And don't bother interpreting that. He understands me.
Wait, how do you? We literally just established that he can't speak English. How do you know he understands? What?
I think Apollo's point
Machi,
is this.
tell the truth. You can understand English, can't you?
Oh my Christ.
So basically, that destroys his quote-unquote proof.
Yep. What are you saying? Of course he can't.
You're dumb, I can't. Oops.
Machi?
This is a lot. I haven't played this game in years, so I kind of forgot about this. No,
Must we continue this charade?
And again,
Sure.
Hold
We'll
on,
do it like this.
BRB, guys.
Again, considering he's similar to Pearl from Splatoon 2, just do angry squid noises.
Mr. Justice, Machi says this. I know the word English.
Oh,
Oh, by the way, Shirley, say it like this.
That's very convenient.
Again, I will just attempt angry squid noises.
Yeah, actually, that's a good idea. Go with that. That's a good idea.
If I can.
Machi is a squid. There we go. You're a squid. Well, he is a kid, so...
Great.
Anyway,
Learn the name for this language, that is all.
sure.
Also, can someone turn off that vortex that's behind us?
What? Give me a break.
Mind crush.
Is that such an unusual word to understand? Yeah, to be fair, I can see her point. English is usually a very easy word to... Do you not know Espanol, for instance? I mean, I actually agree with her. This is not that hard
This
to
is a
understand.
coincidence.
Well, yeah, but
I actually agree with her because if I when you tell when you say the word English to a Portuguese person, they'll even if they don't know the language, they'll probably guess, oh, English, right? Oh. I am sorry, but he truly does not know the language.
well, explain this.
Hmm?
How did he know the crime followed the lyrics?
Because he was told about it. I mean, that's not
Fox
that.
boy.
Have you always been such a suspicious-minded lad?
That's not answering the questions.
Let's just sit here. That line is foreshadowing. You just don't know what. Anyway, it is simple. So simple it hardly requires an explanation. And like I said, probably when they got arrested, somebody told them. It's not that hard. He read about it in the news, or that. Sure, that works too.
But newspapers are in English.
So you're capable of reading.
No, the other one.
The Borginian.
newspaper.
Oh.
The Borginian one. The Borginian Daily Bugle. You can buy it in this country these days for some reason.
Well, it's common. You can buy English newspapers in Spanish, so it's...
Yeah, true. I have seen English magazines and newspapers on sale on Portuguese.
You can get Japanese magazines here too.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess that's perfectly fine. I guess just that Borginian ones are not that all common.
Yeah, it would
I
be the
was
equivalent of having Vietnamese in America. Like,
Hang on.
What is wrong, Mr. Justice? Your eyes—they are quite fierce all of a sudden.
You're
No.
always like that.
Wait, how can I tell?
Machi is lying.
Oh, I'm translating for him.
Maybe it's time to show them proof that he's lying.
the
And that
badge.
proof comes in
The badge.
Look into the badge, you will see the
the
truth.
newspaper. There's no mention of lyrics in there.
There you go, Stuart. That's one.
Take that! I have
revealed-
here a Borginian newspaper. The Borginian Daily Bugle, as a matter of fact.
I play my
Oh,
trap
the
card.
Borginian
Daily Bugle.
Dubugle. So, so I guess
Indeed. There is a feature article about the case.
it's run by J. Jonah Jameson's Borginian
Already
cousin.
did that.
Could you read this for me, Machi?
No, reading hurts my arms.
Rib cage.
That's right. It doesn't mention the lyrics.
Ooh.
Dun dun dun. But like I said, somebody could have just told him that.
What? What's this all about? Christ,
The
even
kid's
my...
lying.
I'm sorry, Machi. You couldn't have read about the lyrics in the Borginian newspaper.
This looks like the background of one of the Sonic 4 Episode 1 special.
It actually reminds me of those old screensavers.
No, remember, it's
Wait,
sure
what?
as a squid. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm gonna drop that because it's too high pitched and people are sleeping now.
Oh.
What does this mean?
What does it mean? What does it mean?
That he's a squid kid?
Sorry, Joe, but unfortunately we're dropping that headcanon.
But I don't see how it's possible.
Yes.
I like how you put emphasis on that, Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, great. What's
I
the
know.
excuse this? What's the excuse this?
Poor Lamiroir. He must have heard the lyrics when the police were doing their questioning. Yes.
I don't think like she's trying.
Yeah.
You know.
Pedro?
Oh, sorry. Not possible. The subject of the lyrics was not brought up in police questioning. Right when I... God damn it, timing. I read the full report myself.
See, in a moment like this, I can understand why Lamiroir is being so desperate, because she has established that she's known Machi for a while, and they've kind of only had each other for that length of time.
The only place you could have heard them was in this courtroom.
Dun, dun, dun.
In English, no less.
Only
Alright,
Capcom
now,
could localize their other games in that language.
You see, guys, the plot twist is that he learned English via the BBC's multimedia course, Muzzy.
Yes.
Yeah. The witness will explain himself.
How do you do? I'm the king. I'm the
Machi
king
says...
of Gondor.
He says...
He says...
Yes.
Yes, bitch?
He has no clue.
It is true. I read the newspaper.
Very good.
But this is not where I learned of the lyrics. I was mistaken.
Ah,
Yes, you were.
Defeating your credibility as a witness.
Now I remember. Boy, even
Why does-
Lamiroir's starting to
Why
have
does
doubts.
every witness have to do that?
You remember?
I remember now.
He says he heard of the lyrics from me.
Dun, dun, dun.
Nah.
well, it's her
Nah.
song.
What?
It's her song, Apollo.
Is this true, Lamiroir?
Yes, it is.
Sure, why not?
Yes, I'm afraid I had forgotten it myself.
The lyrics are so vapid, I don't blame you.
Me neither. And it looks like her forehead's been jumping to conclusions again.
Whose side are you on?
I thought you were supposed to try to find the truth.
It
Not-
seems
not-
so, yes.
I guess this appears to be the truth then?
Yeah.
No. No!
Yes.
I was on to something, I know it! I can't let this chance slip away!
Wouldn't this mean we technically win?
Time is an issue today, Mr. Justice. Are you finished with the cross-exam?
Remember, Jova, let's not forget how, God, what was her name?
What are you going to do, Apollo?
Well, Apollo,
Do the
Lana.
Phoenix method. Bluff the shit out of it.
Remind me again, Jova, what was Emma's sister's name?
Lana.
Lana, that's it. Go on.
If I'm going to keep on cross-examining, I better have an angle of attack. Or else...
Let's not forget, Jova, that we technically had it won, but yet we supposedly still lose the trial just because we couldn't prove the marshal's
Oh.
the marshal's
Oh.
stupid shit.
My
Anyway.
bracelet's still reacting.
Oh, that reasoning
My
actually
attorney
worked.
hands are tingling.
Oh, that reasoning.
Your Honor, please allow me to continue.
Oh, that reasoning actually worked because we still had not yet proven that Damon Gant actually killed the guy. As far as we knew, Lana still killed the Goodman, and her motive would have been because of what happened with Marshall. That's why she was still proven guilty.
Yeah.
So where to?
It was
see
I
that,
who explained that the crime followed the song.
Now time for another use of the bracelet.
It was I who explained.
Oh, again with the lamp.
Yeah, but
But the
I missed it.
crime followed the song.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it is on 1000 at this point.
I didn't press perceive in time. Ah, there we go.
All right, here. How's your lip reading?
Gotcha! Lamiroir,
Yes.
I'm currently cross-examining Machi.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Why should you be uncertain?
Good question. Me? Uncertain?
Does this look unsure to you? Yes, you swallowed the very moment you told the court. It was I who explained.
Well, I didn't do it with an accent like that.
Whatever. Same difference.
I see there is little point in trying to hide anything from you.
So stop doing it, please.
Someone call the embassy, please.
Lamiroir, are you indeed protecting someone?
Well, yeah, I mean, Machi's a small child.
That is not a question with a simple answer.
Answer me, damn it!
To tell the
me where
truth,
the bomb is.
I do not believe it myself.
Oh, great.
Then allow me to answer for you.
Oh?
Lamiroir did it. Case closed.
Yeah.
Lamiroir, you're protecting
Phoenix.
Mr. Right.
Phoenix. No. He's protecting Gavin.
Oh, the obvious one. Take that! Lamiroir, you're obviously protecting Machi.
You know, wouldn't it
Yeah,
have been
what
a...
is even that option? Like,
That's why you lied and told us you would explain how the crime followed the song.
Yeah, I agree with Teo. That wasn't necessary.
Again, like I said, maybe it would have been a more interesting twist if it turned out Lamiroir actually was the killer after all. I know I'm
I don't
bringing
fault
that
you
up
for trying to
again,
help.
but you see what I mean? That was just dead obvious.
Machi, I believe you didn't do it. Really. I trust you.
Now give us a reason to.
But you've lied to us twice.
Yeah.
And now you have Lamiroir lying.
Look at the pain and grief you're putting this blind woman through.
Who gives a shit? If this is going to work, you have to trust me too.
Yeah.
We don't use the phrase justice is blind around these parts. Your two lies cover a simple truth.
I don't know, Apollo. I don't know.
I don't think any
You
of this is
understand
simple, to be
English.
honest.
You have to.
You have to do this. You have to.
Ah,
Okay, I think he's
And
a...
Machi died.
again,
much.
my crush.
witness, is this true? Do you understand English?
Get ready,
Well, yeah,
Fury.
he reacted very frequently to when people are
Go,
talking
go,
to him.
Siri.
Yes, a little only.
Wow, that's a lot more than we thought you could.
The truth is that I'm actually...
Oh, so small.
Truth of the matter is that I am not Virginian, I'm actually Welsh.
And I'm a girl.
What?
First, he could see. Now, he can talk.
It's truly a Christmas miracle.
I know, right?
Next thing, you'll be telling me that he can fly. And you, did you not know about this, Lamiroir? You know, Clavier, you could act surprised by this. You know.
This is again my issue with Clavier.
Again, I'm pretty sure he knew and just wanted to let the
How many
farce
secrets
fall.
is this witness hiding?
Actually, Tio, Clavier didn't know this.
Oh, Siri.
This is last.
The last battle?
The last time
Oh,
your
Guardian.
Patriots holds.
Alright.
Machi, could you tell us what really happened? For reals this time.
The killer was Arzak.
No shooting. I did no shooting.
Okay, your grammar is a bit flawed, but your pronunciation is fine.
Yes.
Makes sense, I guess, if he knows the language only roughly.
So you weren't in the dressing room when I heard two gunshots, correct? Oh, for God's sake.
Apparently, the answer to that question isn't simple either.
I was in dressing room, behind desk. Manager. He on floor.
Sleeping.
The deep sleep.
Yeah, very, very deep. He can't be disturbed.
Too deep for me.
Which would be after the shooting, right?
Alright, Machi, here. I'm gonna show you this episode of Muzzy and Gondola, and this should help you.
Then there is voice.
There you go. Number 1 is big. Number 2 is bigger. Bigger, with 2 G's, okay? Then number 3 is the biggest.
And number 4 is asshole.
Lovely.
Sure, we're trying to keep this kid friendly. We're the BBC, goddammit.
So when Machi went into the dressing room, Mr. Latouche had already been shot.
Aha.
And then we came to the door. We came when we heard gunshots.
Panel high up. I take off. Run away. Run away.
Oh my god, he
Run,
can
Forrest,
fly.
run!
Hey,
No, he
come-
ran, Pedro. He didn't fly.
Yeah.
I know it's just that I assumed that maybe next time he can talk and he says, I take off. Like a plane.
So it was you who escaped. So it was you who escaped through that air vent.
Oh, crud.
So he's Spider-Man now? As the prosecution has held all along, no less.
Well, goody for you. The prosecution was right about something.
The defendant has admitted to being at the scene. We take this as a confession?
No.
Well, it's a confession to being in the area. It's not a confession to the crime.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily...
No! He's clearly denied that he did it!
I wasn't done snapping my fingers, Herr Forehead. Now I must slap you.
How can you? You're all the way on the other side.
No shooting. Manager on floor. Already on floor.
It's okay, we're in this attorney, so I'll throw this hologram computer screen at you.
They technically
It's a
do have
hologram,
that.
so...
The victim had already been shot, you say? I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, it's right, too. His objection does sound like it could have been done by Rupert Langdon.
The defendant
Ruben
understood
Langdon.
the song
Remember,
lyrics.
remember
He was.
Jova. Sorry,
So you can say he shot the deputy? Hmm?
kinda. Also, Jova, remember, before Devil May Cry 3, Dante had not a consistent voice actor.
Ah.
This can only mean one thing. He is the shooter.
Remember, Devil May Cry 1 has that infamous, I forgot who was the voice actor of Dante in that game, but he has that infamous scene where he's like, I should have been the one to fill your dark souls with light!
Yeah.
Does the defendant have anything to say to this?
He's clammed up, Apollo.
Not much more you can say. That wouldn't risk incriminating him.
I mean, I think
Um,
he's done a good enough job of that by himself.
Then let's ask Mr. Justice. Will you require any further testimony from the witness?
Well,
Is that it? Is there nothing else I can get to him to testify about? Wait. No. Of course there is.
What is this cocoon anyway?
It's a,
it's a Kinder surprise. It comes in with all the different toys.
blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Okay, it was me. I shot the deputy, okay?
The cocoon, the silk, is a potent cure.
You see? That's another thing, Java. My musical jokes are better than Gavin's musical jokes. I actually, because actually the reference is instead of just saying generic musical term.
Yeah.
Well, Machi, are you a smuggler?
Clavier to me is kind of an issue I have with Big Top as well. It's like, dude, Clavier's a musician. Those should be like pun gold.
I guess you could say the clavier is a. I guess you could say the clavier is a git. Ah.
Like, you know what, Jova? I would think Clavier's creation would be all worth it if he referenced the punk is death meme.
I really do honestly think that he got rushed badly. That's obviously no excuse. It's just,
Well, yeah, obviously.
it feels like there's so much potential for him. Maybe that's why he annoys me so much as a character.
Machi, please tell us the truth for your own sake.
So that's your plan, Machi? Please tell us the truth now. And then he
Wait.
says
I
something-
got a better way to put it.
Oh.
Oh, no more speak. Not to any of you. Yeah, Machi, if you're guilty of murder, you'll be sentenced to death by law in this country.
Well,
if you're
okay.
not, and you're found
So
out,
much for your
to be a
precious
smuggler,
trust,
you will be put to death by your own country.
You
Either
know-
way, you're going to be put to death, so you might want to do something
Hey,
about
you're
this.
the one who didn't believe him.
Good point, Shiroy. We'll get to that eventually.
Ugh. Regardless, this brings us to an impasse. and I will keep snapping my fingers until we get out of that impasse.
It does seem that the defense and defenders are at odds. Stop snapping.
So
Sorry, Herr Judge. We are in an impasse.
I doubt we are likely to learn anything more of value. Should this continue?
this cannot continue.
This cannot
I see
continue.
no other cause but to
This
declare a
cannot continue.
5-minute recess.
Okay.
All right, I will keep snapping my fingers during the recess.
The defense will work things out with the defendants so that we might proceed.
Yes.
And you can still hear it in the distance.
Yes, he's snapping so hard that you can actually hear it in the lobby.
Yeah. But anyway, enough snapping for now. We can do plenty of that in for the rest of this case.
We'll see you in the
As a
next
journal-
part, where I think we're about to get a helpful bout of advice.
See you then.
See ya.
See ya.